Hi, children of magic. I'm back with another video, and we are going to talk about how to make your spells work faster. I actually wrote down what I wanted to say just to make sure that I am not going to forget anything. Just to make sure that I'm not going to forget anything, and I will be able to say whatever it is that I wanted to share. Anyway, first, we're going to talk about why we do spell work in the first place. So, we do spell work because we want to affect our lives. We want to be able to change whatever situation we are in. We want to be able to manifest and attain the things that we want to attain. So basically, we're doing spell work because we want to help it, or we want our spells to help us live our truth, for us to be able to live a life that is closer to what we see as the truth in our lives. Okay, so when we do spell work, we affect our lives, and at the same time, we will always affect the lives of the people around us. No matter what kind of spell work you do, even if you were to do, for example, a spell that you think will only affect you, it is going to affect other people. It's not just going to affect you, it's going to affect other people as well. So for example, one example of this is that when we do a self-love spell, we may think that, okay, so this is only going to affect me because I am casting the spell to make me love myself more, to appreciate my efforts, for me to become more confident, for me to love myself, basically. But even if we do a self-love spell and we think that it's only going to affect us because it's self-love, it is still going to affect other people, because one element of self-love is it changes the way other people perceive us. One way that self-love spell works is that it gives us a chance to kind of manipulate the energy around us, the energy that comprises our being, for it to be perceived differently by other people. So it still affects other people. So for example, if I want to appear more confident, or if I want to appear more beautiful than I am, it does not just affect me, it also affects other people. It affects other people around me, because I am manipulating the energy surrounding myself so that it will be viewed differently by other people, by another person. Same thing with, for example, money spells. Even if we are just trying to manifest money into our lives and we are doing it for ourselves, it will affect other people, because money has a finite source. That means that money is not infinite. It has a finite source. It comes from somewhere, and it does not just appear out of nowhere. So that means that whenever we try to attract money into our lives, it means that it's going to come from somewhere. That means that someone is going to have to give up some of the money that they have. So it does affect other people. And I don't have to get started on love spells, because obviously love spells it affects other people. Even if you are just trying to attract the person, or attract a non-specific person into your life, you're like, okay, so I want to attract a general love, to expedite the love that is for me, to expedite the arrival of the love that is for me. That still is about manipulating energy and manipulating, a certain person or someone that will fit perfectly to your description, and it's going to manipulate them to come to you faster. So it's all about manipulation. That's it. Spell work is about energy manipulation. So if it is about energy manipulation, then we have to be able to manipulate it more effectively for it to work faster, right? So first, let's talk about the things that we use in spell work. So in spell work, we can just use our words. We can send out our intentions by speaking it into existence. And most people know about this, the law of attraction, where you just think about the things that you want to happen, the things that you want to get, and then you speak it into existence. Like, I am rich, I am a millionaire, for example. And then the way it works is that if you keep on repeating that, it's going to meld into your subconscious, and in turn it's going to make you work. For example, it will make you work twice as hard to get what you want. So that's one way. And then we use herbs, candles, oils, incense, water, what have you. We use all those things to help us achieve our goals, or to help us manifest more efficiently. So I'm not going to talk about how herbs, candles, oils are going to help us, because that's a topic for another video. But I am going to talk about how we can use it effectively. So most people are confused as to why their spells take a long time to work, and sometimes it does not work at all. But this is not a video about why your spells are not working. That's for another video again. But let's talk about how to expedite, how to make your spells work faster. So first one, you have to have clear intentions. You have to be very sure about your intentions. So what I mean is, if you want to have, or if you want to be able to find a job, you have to be 100% sure that you are looking for a job and that you want that job. No questions asked. You have no doubt in your mind that that is exactly what you want to happen, or that is exactly what you want to have. You cannot have a sliver of doubt in your mind, because the moment you start doubting yourself, the moment when you are not entirely sure that it is what you want, you're just like, okay, I think it's what I want, so I am going to try to get it. If that is how you think, it is highly possible that you will not be able to get it, because you're not 100% sure. There's a doubt somewhere deep inside. You are doubting your spell work already, even before it started, because you are not sure. You're just not 100% sure about it. So it's also the question I ask people before they ask for spells. I always ask them first, okay, so is this really what you want? Because I want you to think about this real hard, like long and hard, because just because you can get it does not mean that you should get it. You have to be 100% sure that you want it. It's not just because you want to make it work faster, but because what are you going to do once you get it and then you realize that that's not what you want? What are you going to do when it's already in your life and you're like, okay, hold on. I don't want it anymore. Right? So it's going to be a waste of time. You are going to waste your time. You're going to waste your energy. You might even waste your money. So you have to be 100% sure that that is what you are looking for. Besides, doubt is the ultimate obstacle that will hinder your energy from working the way it's supposed to work, from taking a certain course of action. You are going to hinder yourself from reaching your ultimate goal. So you have to be 100% sure. You have to be very clear about what you want. So that also includes being clear about your petition. So, for example, if you are looking for a job and you want to have a job 5 months from now, you have to be clear that that is what you want. You want a job 5 months from now, not right now, because I'm doing something else right now. So I want a job 5 months from now. Or I want a job from this specific company. Or I want to be loved this certain way. I want this person to return to me and let go of everything else that might be connected to him, like if he was cheating or something. So you have to be very, very clear about that. There must not be any kind of confusion about it, right? So that is the first one. Second one is you have to use the right items. So when I talk about right items, spell work is a little like building a structure, right? It's like building a structure, a building, for example, or a house. You have to lay down all of the things that you need, all of the things that you want. You have to have the right foundation for it. Otherwise, it's just going to collapse, and you don't want it to collapse. You don't want it to collapse on you, especially when you're already inside it. So it's kind of like building a house. So you have to use the right materials for it. So you have to know, like, what kind of candles are you going to use? What color candles are you going to use? Are you going to use a tea light candle? Are you going to use a vigil candle? Are you going to use a novena candle? Or herbs? What kind of herbs are you going to use? Are you going to use herbs that are for love? So for example, if you are looking for a sugar daddy and you're not entirely into the idea of being in a relationship, but you are looking for example a sugar daddy. So if you are looking for a sugar daddy, are you going to use, for example, are you going to use forget me not, or are you going to use snake root for that? When those things are for long-term commitment, it can be translated to companionship, commitment, being in a relationship. Or are you going to use Jezebel root, for example, because Jezebel root is not just for beauty, for love, it's also for encouraging charity. It's for encouraging someone to give you money, to give you what you want and what you need. So it's about that. It's about knowing what to use. So for example, if you are trying to attract money into your business, then maybe you should use herbs that are specifically for business and not just money, right? So it's about that. It's about knowing the things that you will use. If you are very specific about the days, which day you are going to do it, if you are going to do this spell in a specific moon cycle, then you have to plan it in advance. So it involves a lot of planning. You have to think about the things that you are going to do. You cannot just, or like, especially if you're a beginner, like it's okay if you're not a beginner anymore and you already know what you're doing, it's fine. But if you are a beginner, you have to think. You have to make a plan. You have to write down what you're going to do just so you know why you need them. So it also involves mastery. It involves research. You cannot just do things just out on a whim, especially when you're a beginner, because you have to know what everything is for. So you can't just use something just because someone said that it's okay to use it. Or you cannot just use something for a specific spell and then use the same thing for a different kind of spell, hoping for the same or hoping for a different result, but you did the same thing. Like, if you get what my gist. But basically, that's it. It's about knowing what things to use. You have to use the right items. You have to know what to do. Third one, pray over your items. You have to empower every item that you are going to use, especially the herbs. The herbs have spirits. It has spirits inside them, so you have to pray over it and you have to tell it exactly what you want it to do. So, for example, if you are going to use honey, honey has a lot of different uses. It's mainly for attraction, right? It's mainly for attraction, but it has a lot of uses. So if you are going to use it for love, you have to direct that that is exactly what you want it to do. Like, bring me the love that I need, bring me the love that I deserve, something like that. But you have to direct it that it has to bring you love. Or if you are going to use it for attraction of money, then you have to tell it that, okay, attract money into my life, bring in money into my life, attract the energy of abundance and money into my life. So it has to be like that. You have to be, or you have to direct the herbs. You have to tell the herbs what to do, because the herbs in itself are powerful, or the items that you are going to use are powerful, but their energy is scattered. So you have to direct that energy. It's kind of like using a wand. Like, you have to direct that specific energy into a specific direction. Okay, number 4 is divination. Do not forget about divination. You have to ask the spirit or the universe, whoever you are planning to call, what is the best course of action. Ask the spirit if you should cast a spell. Ask the spirit how you should cast a spell. What are the things that you should use? How are you supposed to do it? You should ask, like, you should communicate with the divine or the universe, the cosmos, or the energy constantly, for you to understand how to do it, for your spell work to be guided. Because sometimes, although we know about our situation, like, we have this general surface level idea about our situation, sometimes there are cracks. Sometimes there are things that are happening beneath the surface that we do not see. And if we don't see it, then it can work against us. It can be an obstacle. It can work to hinder the spell work that you are doing. And that's why divination is very important. It's one of the most important things that you should do before casting a spell, because if you don't do divination, then you are going in blind. You are going to do things without knowing if it is going to work, if it's going to take a longer time to work, or if it's going to work differently, if it's not going to work according to how you want it to work. That's why you divinate first. Okay, number 5, try to forget about your spell, right? Okay, so whenever we cast spells, we send out this energy into the universe. Like, if you are trying to attract something, we send out this attraction energy into the universe. If we are trying to banish something, we send out this repelling energy into the universe. If we get stuck in the idea that, okay, so is my spell already working? Is it working right now? Did I really send it right? It's been 3 days. Did I do it right? Is it working? If we have that if we have those kind of thoughts in our head, then it can work against us, because those kind of thoughts are repelling. Those kind of thoughts are, it pushes away the energy that we are trying to send. Like, in a way, it sends doubt into our minds, and that was my first point earlier. No doubts. You should not have any doubts in your mind. You should be very, very sure about what you're doing. So if you start thinking about your spell, if you start thinking whether it's going to work or not, you're already working against yourself, and it's going to take a longer time for your spell to work, because you are already asking those questions. That means, okay, so this is how it goes, right? So if you are thinking, okay, it's been 5 days, I'm still not seeing any results in my spell work, in the spell that I did. Is it working? That question in itself, like the very root of that question is, it's not working yet, right? If you were to get down to the bottom of that question, the point of that question is, it's not working. It's not working yet. Remove the yet. It's not working. So if you think, or if you put that in your head that it's not working, then it's not going to work, because you're going to send out that energy. You're going to send out the energy that, oh yeah, your spell is not working. And then that's when negativity starts setting in, and negativity is not going to help you with your spell. So what's the best thing, or what's the best way for you to manifest more clearly? Forget about your spell. After casting your spell, forget about it. Keep it at the back of your head, right? And every time you start thinking negative thoughts, or every time you start doubting your spell, try to think about something else. Try to distract yourself, because that's the only way. Distract yourself, count from 10 to 1, or watch videos, something, but do something just to forget about what you're thinking. Number 6, you have to make use of your emotions. So when you feel something, when you are emotional and you feel something, it makes you vibrate higher or lower. It depends on what kind of emotions you are feeling. So if you are feeling positive emotions, then you are going to vibrate higher. If you are feeling negative emotions, or if you are feeling a little low, then you are vibrating, or you will be vibrating in a lower frequency. So you have to make use of those emotions. I have this one friend who, back in college when we were doing theater, she told us that one way to become good at acting is by putting all your emotions in a box, right? So every time you feel sad about a specific thing, remember how that feels, and then put it inside a box of emotions, so that if ever you need that emotion, you'll be able to replicate it by remembering how it felt. So that's one thing, or that's one way for you to be able to make use of emotions that you're not currently feeling. So for example, you are trying to do a love spell, but right now you are not feeling very much in love. Like, you're just very sad, for example. So if you're very sad, but you want to do a love spell or a reconciliation spell, you have to be able to check your box of emotions and remember the time when you felt the most in love, and make use of that. Think about that feeling, instead of using desperation, because desperation, again, is a negative emotion, and it's not going to help you in any kind of way, other than hinder your spell work. So make use of the previous emotions that you have felt and use that for spell work. And I'm just going to like slide this in. Do not use desperation in casting spells. Do not use the energy of desperation in casting spells because it's not going to help. It's not going to make your spell work faster. And that's why you have to ask yourself first, am I casting this spell because this is really, really what I want? This is my goal. This is what I want to happen. Or am I casting this spell because I'm desperate? Because I don't know what else to do and I'm like, I need this right now. I'm desperate. If you are just desperate, do it some other time. If you can't find any other emotion other than desperation, do it some other time because it's really, really going to make your spell work fast, or it's really going to it's really going to slow down your spell, or even it can make your spell null, like it will not work. Last one, number 7, you have to be confident. Confidence is key, and this is something like, this is a cliche. Everyone says this. Confidence is key, but in spell work, confidence really is key. You have to believe that you have the magic. You have the power to change things up. You have everything that you need to help you in whatever it is that you are trying to do. So you have to believe that you are magical. You have to believe that whatever it is that you did, it's going to work. It is going to change things up. You will be able to change things up. If you asked help from God, you have to believe that God is going to help you out. If you asked help from the universe, believe that the universe is conspiring positively with you. You have to believe that everything is working in your favor already. The moment you started thinking about doing a spell, it's already working. That's how confident you should be. You should be very, very confident that everything is 100% going to work. If you are the kind of person who's like, yeah, I don't know if my spells are going to work, then that's something that you have to work out on. Like, that's something that you should work on, because you have to be positive. Like, you really have to be confident. You cannot doubt yourself, even an inch, even a sliver. You have to be very, very confident. You must have the courage to do and change the things that you want to change, to attain the things that you want to attain. Believe that you have the magic for that. And if you do all of these things, although like these things, like these items seems simple, but believe me, it will work. It will help your spell work faster. I have done spells that after I did it, like after lighting a candle, it worked after an hour, or it worked right after I lit the candle, and I'm not even done with this spell. It's already working. I'm already getting what I'm supposed to get. And it's because of these things, like these simple steps really helped me become more familiar with my energy and with how I do spell work and how to do it right. If you follow these steps, I'm not saying that, it's going to ensure that your spells are going to work faster. It's more on, if you follow these steps, there's like a higher chance that there won't be that much hindrance in whatever it is that you are doing. So that's about it. That's about it. That's all I wanted to say. I hope I was able to help out those who are confused with their spell work, those who are trying to make their spells work faster. If you found this video helpful, then please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell for you to get notified the next time I post another video or when I go live, because I will go live trying every day to do tarot readings and to answer your questions. So if you want, or if you have any questions and you want me to answer it live, then ring that notification bell after subscribing so that you will know when I'm live. Also, follow me on Instagram, because that is where I am going to post updates on when I will go live. So there you go. There you have it. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And I'll see you next time.